Okay, this starts the Town of Fairfield FairTV Commission meeting for Monday, November 18th, 2024, a little after 8 p.m. Thanks all for your patience. Everybody's in attendance here. So without further ado, we will get right into the agenda. Just one moment. It's been a little while since we've last met, largely because there have not been any new agenda items. So Luke, whatever you're doing, don't change a thing. I don't really have any opening remarks aside from what I just said. But I do know at this time of year, we have to, and I think we could save this till the next meeting, I think, to figure out when we're going to meet the following year and go through all that. So I did not plan on dealing with that tonight. I just thought we would motor through our agenda and we can save that for the next time. But before we do, does anybody think that they won't be at the next meeting? Which is, yeah, I'm actually concerned about myself because I'm away. The 16th. Yes, it's the 16th. So that is the week I'm away. First one to volunteer and say I'm not going to be at that meeting. Is anyone else in that situation? Just me. Okay. So the easiest thing to do is to move that, because normally I would say, you can have the meeting without me, but if we have to go through a bunch of procedures as far as setting meetings going, it's a good idea if we're all on it, especially as that dictates a lot of stuff. I'm not going to push into Christmas week. So I guess if we're looking for a Monday night, is either the 9th or the 6th, the 23rd an issue for anybody? And if you don't want to do the 23rd, forget it.
The 9th would probably be better for me.
Yeah, I can do the 9th.
Paula, Suzanne?
I can do the 9th.
I can do the 9th.
Okay. So I'll have to set a special meeting for the 9th. I don't know how much there's going to be to cover, but it'll be one less thing on your holiday list. Okay. So that's going to be my only opening remark before we get into new business. Paula?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Great. Lee?
I have nothing except to make a motion that we approve the minutes of our August 19th meeting. I didn't get any revisions, so I assume it's okay, but we need a second.
A
I second.
All in favor? No, you should call it, David.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval to release the last minutes passes unanimously for August. And that takes us to the production manager's report. Luke, how are we doing? How are you?
We're doing good. Yeah, not too much to report this time. I know you had on the agenda the items to purchase.
Yeah.
So we are still looking at the TriCaster from the carryover from last budget. That's still in the works. I've reached out to a few vendors to get a few quotes. And I'm hopefully if the price comes in, because there's a new one that was released, if the price comes in good, I'm hoping to get two, because we currently have two in use now and they're kind of on the older side, and the new ones has integrated Zoom, which now that we're all Zoom mostly meetings, that would be nice to have. So hopefully with the carryover money as well as the money that we got from the CAC, hopefully that should be good use of those dollars.
So I know there was some confusion. We have until, I think, like until the end of the next fiscal, right? At the
Yeah.
end of June.
Yeah.
That's what Frank confirmed to you and me. Okay.
Yeah.
So do we just want to go ahead with this? Because everything you
Yeah,
just said, I
so
believe we went
the
over
one-
in August.
The one with the CAC money, that has to be used by December. I have to send them the final report of what we've spent the money on December, I think it's 15th or something. So I figured if I was gonna get two, I would just buy them at the same time, use the one money from the CAC and then one from the carryover from last budget. This way, they get them both at the same time. Maybe we'll get a discount on, buying more than one.
Would that wipe out the funds for both the CAC and the leftover budget funds?
Not completely, but majority of it, yeah. And I have used some of the CAC money for a few things that updating around the office. Like we had an old TV that we used to use to, watch the streams and make sure everything goes smooth. So I got a new TV there. Some new headphones for the guys because they were just using old like earbuds that Jerry had. So new headphones for them, new keyboards, mice, stuff like that. Just kind of update everything.
So I guess the question is, if we do this, what is the name? I want to get the proper name.
The TriCaster.
The TriCaster, thank you.
Yeah.
If we get these two TriCasters, are we foregoing the need to purchase anything else over, the next 6 months that might be critical?
Not that I can see. I think we're in pretty good shape as far as equipment goes. Like I said, the broadcast server was the biggest thing. We got that last year. If there's any updates now to that, it's all software, so there's no more big purchases. So that should be good for at least 5 years, if not longer. And then as far as anything else, we're pretty much good. Everything is pretty up to date. I can't, unless they make a big change on the town side, as far as the Zoom room or something like that, to where we have to make an adjustment on our end. I can't see anything that we need to buy in the next 6 months at least.
So can you clarify, the money's coming from the CAC and what else?
So at the end of last budget, when they closed out in July, there was extra money that was there for vendors, and I think it was the old Jerry's salary was different than mine, so there was carryover money there. But they let us carry over to this budget in order to use it for the TriCaster. Remember, we had that one meeting where we had to write up a thing with Frank in order to discuss with the Board of Finance to get approved.
Right.
Did we last year have any situation where we had to make a purchase? Any kind of?
Not that I could think of. I know the biggest thing last year was the broadcast server. We used the PEG-PISA grant for that.
Yeah, I guess devil's advocate, is there any benefit? It'd be nice to just get these over with. And you said, I'm sorry, what do we have until December 15th to purchase?
Yeah, I thought to double check the date, but I think it was December 15th. It was when the final report was due to the CAC.
Wait, to the CAC?
Yeah, so that's, remember they gave us the random check?
Yeah.
Sent it to the town.
Yeah.
So with that, they need a report of what you bought, the quantity, the price, and then an explanation of why you bought it and whatnot. The old way to do it was you basically put a list of requesting equipment or whatever it may be, and then they would approve it, give you the money, send a report that you followed the requested list, and then why you bought it and all that. But now that they just divvied it up between the 5 or 6 groups that were there, now we just have to send a report in. So
yeah, and what is the amount of the CAC grant again?
that was 22 maybe.
22.
Yeah, 22,000.
5 or something, I think it was.
Yeah, Yes.
Right. I mean, if we didn't do it, I don't think we would forego, anything. I mean, the money's been granted to us, so it's
Yeah.
best to adhere to their rules. Suzanne, we can talk about that in a moment, but I just wonder if, you know, that's the reason to buy. I mean, it sounds like the first TriCaster we would use the CAC funds for. The second one is town money, which we, in theory, have another 6 months to
Yeah.
go. But if you're just saying that, why not just get them both at once and it will help us both at once? I don't have any issue with that, provided, again, it sounds like it wouldn't wipe us out entirely.
Yeah.
There would
I know what
still
you
be
mean, though.
incidental funds left over. I don't know what the process is for purchasing these things. Is it a lot
Yeah,
of back and forth?
The only thing that I would, I wonder if it's going to be an issue is because the Board of Finance approved it, the carryover for this purchase. I wonder if, if we wait out and then we end up trying to buy something else, if we'll get some kickback on that. I don't know if because they carried it over in order to buy the TriCaster, if
Oh, I
they,
see.
you know what I mean?
Well, I thought there was just money left.
Yeah, but that was the whole thing. We had to write the letter and say that,
I see.
we had an end of the budget. We wanted to carry over for this purpose.
Okay.
So I don't know if you try to change that, if that's even allowed,
Well, I'm curious, Suzanne and Paula, you have any reluctance of getting both of these at the same time, as long as, again, budgetarily, like if we had to cover more meetings in the next 6 months, if we had to hire somebody else, if we had to, do we have contingency funds available to us after these two purchases to meet, such miscellaneous or unknown demands?
Yeah, I know when I did the budget last year, I think I put an extra 10,000 into as like a buffer.
Right.
So that should be more than enough. I mean, that would cover, an extra like 50 meetings, if not more. You know what I mean? Like that's more than enough cushion there. And like I know Frank even said, he said our budget's small enough that if there was an issue with funding, that they would be able to help us out, find a way to give us some extra.
Right.
And I don't see that being an issue. I think the budget was pretty good this year, so I don't see that being an issue. But again, like you said, there could be unforeseen issues pop up or meetings but I think that 10,000 should be more than enough to cover.
Yeah, because it has to buy us until July 1, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think to me, it sounds fine.
Same.
Okay, so if we make a motion now, this will trigger you being able to go through the purchase order process?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I would assume.
Mhm.
This is more of a bookkeeping thing, but how much is each one?
I haven't got an exact quote yet, but I would say I think they're about like 20 or so.
Okay, so we're sitting on something to the tune of 40, low
Yeah.
40s.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you could discuss this with Frank. I think all you have to do when you deal with the CAC or the town, in theory, they don't care if you exceed the amount. We've got the money
Yeah.
in our account. So you don't have to buy them separately to say this is for the CAC funding, or sorry, this is to be used against the CAC funding, this is to be used against leftover town funds, but
Yeah.
probably just worth clarifying to them
Yeah.
that basically we're
Exactly.
dividing
But the other
the
thing
payments.
too, that once I get a final quote from the vendors, I can, if we say it's over the amount of we have in the carryover, I forgot exactly how much it was carried over. But if there's extra, we could always apply it to that Peg Pisha grant again and see if they would cover half of it or whatever it may be, whatever the rest remaining would be. We could always also go through that too. So that's a good fallback.
I'm just looking at
But that won't be until, I think you have until February to apply to that. And then that was the same thing with the broadcaster. We didn't get it until May, I think it was, or end of the year. So, I mean, if we have to do that, we have to do it. You know, it's,
Yeah, I mean, I think you should just, clarify we should just clarify these amounts.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
when you get well, what I would suggest you do is inform all of us, send us a note.
Yep.
And only if you think that there's a financial problem will we, either have to consider other options or get one at a time. But I mean, I'm as eager to move on this as you, and we certainly batted it around. So
exactly. And then honestly, if we had to just get one now and wait until the end of the year, whatever it may be, that's fine. I mean, most of the meetings, if there's one or two during the same day, you're using the same one anyways. There's maybe like one or two meetings a month, if that. Maybe lately it's been more, but where they overlap, you need both at the same time.
right.
So the majority of the meetings can be done with just one good one for now.
So I'm looking back at a note I sent to Frank. I'm not sure if he replied to this because it was me, you, and him, Luke, on October 17th. Wow, time really flies. This feels ancient, and it's like a 1 month ago. We have 17,485.
Okay. So that, if the 20 I'm seeing, that's a little bit over. So then, we have to see how much is left in the actual general budget. And then if that's not enough with giving a cushion, then I can apply for the Pegapecia,
Well, sorry, I think you have it flipped. The general fund is 17.
No, that's
48.
that's the carryover, 17.
Yeah. And the grant is how much? Oh, just over 20?
22.5, I think.
22.5.
I think I
Okay.
used like
So
maybe 500 or 600 of it.
Okay, so we have basically almost 40,000 on the nose. Okay, so go and get the formal quotes. I would say just let us know as a committee, the cost. I'll make a motion in the interest. I mean, if we're going to meet on December 9th, we could, save this till that time. But I'm also happy to make a motion and just say that if they're under, I don't know, 45,000. That we can move forward with this purchase of two of them.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to discuss this to, in full to cover, but we have to put a ceiling on it somewhere, right? So do you think that gives you cushion with tax and shipping? I don't know.
Yeah, and I did see, again, I reached out to him, I haven't heard back, but they do have like a trade-in program. So we have a few older ones. I wonder if they could accept those, trade those in, maybe they get some money back. So again, I'm just waiting for them to get back. They're not the fastest to get back, which is odd. But, I mean, I guess it's not odd what we found.
Who is they?
I reached out to like 3 or 4 vendors, so still waiting to get back. I looked up, on the TriCaster site, they have it listed which vendors in the like in Connecticut or nearby states that supply them or distribute them. So and I'm looking at the budget. It looks like we have, let's see, so 21.3 left of the CAC grant.
Plus
So-
17,485 is 38.
And then
Basically
as far
39.
as, I don't know if, I'll have to see if this is part of it or not, but this says available budget is 28.3 for the entire like FairTV budget. Like that's not including the grants. So that I don't know if that includes the carryover or if it's that's separate. I have to look into it more.
I think you should. I want to move this forward, but I think it's important to just clarify what we have. I mean, that 28 might also be, our funding for the rest of the year with your salary and the,
No, because so that is its own.
that's different?
Yes,
Okay, line
that's
item.
its own, like
Okay.
the encumbrances, that's like already a purchase order that's in, like those amounts are all set for the year, essentially,
Okay.
unless like some of the vendors go over or whatever, maybe I have to make an adjustment to that, but the 28 is that's available, that's free, and I make not reserved for the POs, which is
Okay.
the freelancers. So we have 28 plus what was it, what did I say, the 20, 21, I think it was. So,
Mhm. 21 something.
yeah.
21.3. So right around 39,000. I mean, Suzanne, Paula, Lee, would you like to, anything else you wanted to reference or?
No, I was just looking at the numbers from the last budget report.
Yeah.
Mm.
The one that's on the November 5th, right? You're looking at.
Yeah,
So the last attachment that she sent. You see how it says transfer 17,485. So that's the transferred over. I'm assuming, and then the 125,835. That's what we got allotted for the budget, minus the POs. So I think 28. Let me see.
it's going to be close, I think. I mean, given what we've already spent on the first half of the fiscal year, which was 27, as I read this, 27,300, and you have 28,332 left. It's going to be fairly close, I would think.
How much left?
Well, this is November 5th, $28,332.
No. So that doesn't include. So you see where it says 70,184.
Yeah.
That's allotted for the paying me and the rest of the freelancers.
Oh,
So that's already paid out in the purchase order.
Oh, I see. This isn't the easiest thing to read.
Yeah, it's very confusing. So like
Yeah.
the 70,000, that was the purchase order to pay for my salary as well as all the rest of the vendors.
Oh, okay. But then you should be good.
We should be good, yeah. So the 28,000 is extra, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That's if the vendors don't go more than what is expected. Because if you look at the first page of it, you'll see. If you see the first attachment.
I got to go back to it.
Yeah. Then you'll see it what it shows the 7184.
Okay.
So that's all the vendors.
Okay.
That's how much is left. 7184. So we've spent, I think it's
Okay.
15 or 25 so far on the vendor. So that's where the year-to-date expended. So, and we should be good. That's the.
I think it seems reasonable to get both.
Yeah. So look, I mean, why don't you just go down the process, and if we run into a hiccup, we can always use to rediscuss it. But
Yeah, and like I said, we have that PEG PISA that we could apply for if we need to. that we could use as a fallback. Say if for some reason we need more money, or that you have
But that's-
until I think it's
But
until
that's if we get it.
Yeah, we do though. Most of the time we do. That's what I've heard. So you basically, I mean, it seems like the like our type of I know like the Board of Ed had an issue with Peg Pisha. Like they didn't get exactly what they asked for, but we got exactly what we asked for. So I've heard like the public access channels seem to always say yes. So, which is odd. But I think the Board of Ed's also asked for like hundreds of thousands, not 10, 15,000.
Yeah, well, it's good to be, on the right side of this stuff,
Yeah.
even if we're living in a much, smaller zone. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'll make a motion to move forward with the purchase of 2 TriCasters with our, using our allotted funds or our extra allotted funds to, purchase these essentials.
Are you going to keep the limit at 45,000?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we can say there's a limit. We'll say that there's a limit of 45,000 on it. I'm not held to that number. If someone thinks it should be less or more, I just don't want to veer. I just rather return some money at the end of the year. I just
Yeah.
don't want to. It sounds like there's some things that we're not totally sure of. So that gives you some room, Luke.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to purchase 2 TriCasters at a total all-in cost of 45,000 with, with the CAC grant and the carryover funds from last year up to 45,000.
Okay, second.
And all in favor, say aye.
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 All right. So yeah. So like I said, if for some reason it comes in higher than that, then we could go down the Peg Pisha grant. We could get the one for the CAC now, and then do the Peg Pisha one in the summer or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I think that's a good call. I just don't want to hold this up. So if
Yeah.
you're
No.
running
And
into-
like I said, I wouldn't if it came in very high or something. I mean, I wouldn't just buy it and
Yeah,
I would
well,
always-
we'll just revisit it at the next meeting. It'd be nice to have that document over by December 15th.
Yeah. So
Okay, I think we can move forward. Anything else with respect to production?
no, I mean that was pretty much it for this month.
All right. Jennifer Carpenter asked, just that we, before the purchase actually goes through, that we should, bear with me one second. Make sure that David Becker is copied on that, the town CFO,
Yeah.
interim CFO. Do you have his email?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So just please make sure, I mean, as we go through this, that he has awareness.
Yeah, of course. And I'll
Okay.
even double check too, because before I make the purchase, to make sure that there's
Yeah.
no other stipulations that
Yeah, and
Has to be
again, we
purchased
can
through,
revisit it on
X, Y,
December.
Z.
We can revisit it on December 9th, but you don't have to wait till then to purchase
Yeah.
at least one. And if there's a significant shipping cost or some real benefit to buying 2 versus 1, then yes, let's hold off.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to, miss out.
Yeah.
All right. Love to keep us going here. Sorry, the agenda disappeared on me. Okay. So moving forward with respect to grant requests, Suzanne, do you want to give a recap of the last CAC meeting you attended?
These meetings are very interesting. It was only like 20 minutes long. We talked about, they have this grant scholarship for students interested in communications. There's 2 of them for $1,500 each, and they're spending a lot of time figuring out the wording, and they haven't had any interest last year. And so they're trying to post it places, and the deadline's the end of May. But I think they're still figuring out the wording of the scholarship. They did say we needed 3 additional people to sit on the group. What is this? I pulled up the minutes. Terms remain at 2 years, except for an orange. Marlene is working on a possible additional representative for Orange, and Carrot might add a Milford one, and Fairfield needs 3 additional ones. It
When
just
you
seems
say
like a lot of people sitting there doing, I don't know what we're doing.
when you say 3, did you see my note? I mean, they have to. You are one of them. Are they saying that you don't count until there's 3?
No, I think they say we need 4 total. I don't.
Can I jump in here? Fairfield is allowed 4 representatives. Suzanne is one. There's
Okay.
there's one from the library board. There's one from the Board of Education. And then I can't remember what the 4th one is. And we've gone round and round about, these are appointments we can't make. They have to be made by the first selectman.
Yeah.
But
So,
as I said before, if the first selectman were willing to make these appointments, we would own the CAC, and we could get this thing I wasn't at the last meeting, Suzanne, but I can imagine just what it was like.
I don't even know what we're doing. I really don't know.
They don't know what they're doing, but they have money. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They have money, and it is money that we can use. Thus the TriCasters.
Right.
But
yeah.
they're just running by the
They
seat of
haven't
their
talked
pants.
about money. Yeah.
Is there
They're
any
making things up as they go.
4, or did they say if you don't have 4,
What?
then you're
Yeah.
not
No.
getting the money, or how does that?
No, they just complained they needed more people, and then they talked about people they knew, and then I mean it's very, very bizarre.
It's
But
like
do
a
they-
social club that
sorry.
has money that comes in
Doesn't know how to
under the
spend,
state. Anyway,
But do they recognize you, Suzanne? That's what I wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
Okay. No, they recognize you as a member.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had written a note based on your note. I thought they were saying that they needed your appointment letter, and
They just don't copy me on emails, and I don't know.
I always look actually if they do that, and I think they now are, because at least the ones I'm sent. But
Yeah.
so basically, Lee, I'm going to direct this toward who's the chief of staff again?
Christine Brown.
Thank
yes,
you. I always get Christine's confused. Yes, Christine Brown, who we know and is very helpful to us. I'll just direct this toward her, and I suppose the town clerk, just to say that that the CAC committee says we can have further representation, right, Lee?
yeah, it's in the bylaws. It's very explicit. I just can't remember what constitutes the other member. But the point is the Board of Education and the library board have to make the appointments. They're out of our control. And I think they're even out of Bill's control.
But the bylaws stipulate from which departments these representatives are
Correct.
coming from, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it might be one of those things.
It's easy to look up.
Yeah.
Our next meeting is the 21st.
That's Thursday.
Yeah. So I'll let you know if anything exciting happens.
Yeah, no appointments will be made before then, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, but
But I
mean,
do think it's worth bringing it to Christine's attention to say, the bylaws say this, we have our representative there, but you might want to, bring it to Bill's attention that these other people slots should be filled.
Lee, would you mind looking up? I'm sorry, I mean, actually, I have it in front of me. I was
I
gonna,
sent an email some time ago.
I
About it.
remember that. I actually remember that. That's what I was looking for. Um,
The,
one second.
the fact of the matter is that Bill doesn't have to be involved at all, nor does Christine. If you wrote letters to the chair of the Board of Education and the chair of the library board, and we figure out who the third person is, they're the ones who have to make the appointments.
Oh, that's true.
Mm.
You don't have to involve Christine or the first selectman's office at all.
No, but they need a letter. They still need a letter. I don't really want to, I just don't, I'd really rather not get involved. I'd rather the town just talk to those committees. I'm just trying to mitigate, you know, our involvement in this to, I mean, we got all three of us on and Suzanne attends these meetings. So isn't it better to just alert the town? I'm not sure what the harm would be, and they can reach out to those respective committees.
And do it any way you want.
Okay, could you just help? Here, I'll find it in one moment. It wasn't that long ago.
Well, rather than hold this
Anyway.
up, if you want me to draft a letter for you,
No, I mean, I'm happy to. It was May 9th he wrote this. Yeah, it was May 9th. We just need to know who the others are. Oh, I see. Jim, Marlene's note on May 9th says one member from FairTV or other town access committee could be appointed. Anyway, okay. I'll just kick this back to you. I'm not going to use up any more of our time.
no, I've got it. I just right here.
Okay, look at Marlene's attachment, and maybe you could just clarify for me one more time. That would be super helpful. I'm sure I could do it
Well,
too.
phone
but
number from
I just want
FairTV.
to make sure I'm not missing.
I'll just go back to the bylaws and I'll shoot you something. How's that?
Thanks. That's fine. And I'm going to write them a very short and succinct note saying the town should be aware of this opportunity, period. So this really brings us to our last item, and I don't know how much of an item it is, but Lee, you attended kindly a meeting about anti-Semitism in the town, and I was curious what the outcome of that was.
The first selectman organized it. It was really run by some local people, some of whom are members of the American Jewish Committee, some of whom are with a self-formed group called the Fairfield Jewish Advocacy Coalition.
Mhm.
Anyway, they talked about the rise in anti-Semitic incidents here in town and across the state and across the nation. It was basically an education kind of thing. There was no action to be taken. They just, I think the first selectman wanted people who serve on commissions and boards to be aware of the situation, which is getting quite serious. Not getting, it is quite serious. That's really nothing else to report about it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to look further than this past week, or in Columbus, Ohio. But that's fine. So it was basically for awareness purposes, and I guess
Yeah.
just I know those people well who are on FJAC, and they've done an amazing job. So thank you for attending that. And,
Yeah, there were about,
No,
I
I
guess,
just
40,
it's
45
part of
people
a
there.
much larger issue, just
Yeah.
discrimination, pockets of the country. So, just for us as a committee, I mean, we don't encounter this, or thankfully, on any level. But what, right? I mean, was there anything that we were been asked to be mindful of, or just
No,
No.
there's lots of incidents at the at the schools, in the high schools especially.
Yeah.
And there've been other incidents around town.
Yeah. Okay. Well, really distressing. Thanks for attending that. And if there's something else like that, I know it was written to all of us, but you know, if you can just raise the awareness to us as a committee, whether it's anti-Semitism or another, you know, form of discrimination, it's good for us to know.
Sure.
Does anyone have anything else to cover? No? Okay. So we've voted on Luke making this purchase, and I'll go ahead and get a special meeting going for Monday, December 9th. Make a motion
Okay.
to end this meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right, thank you all, and see you in a few weeks. Thanks,
Thank
Luke.
you.
See you guys
Thanks,
later.
everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.